As human consumption and waste of plastic has steadily increased over time, plastic particles have accumulated in our oceans. Microplastics have been found in marine sediment worldwide. It's gotten to the point that National Geographic has described the state of our oceans as a plastic soup. In 2014, there were 15 to 51 trillion pieces of plastic particles in our oceans, weighing up to 236,000 metric tons. Until recently, microplastics were thought to be mostly concentrated on coasts and continental shelves. For recent studies have shown that these particles have reached even the deep sea floor and the Arctic sea ice. But what exactly are microplastics? Microplastics are tiny particles of plastic, typically less than 5 millimeters in diameter, which come from larger pieces of plastic that break down into smaller fragments in marine ecosystems. There are two main sources of microplastics: fragmentation from larger pieces of plastic, and direct runoff from land-based sources. Landfill and litter that end up in our ocean includes plastic products such as coffee cups, food packaging, plastic bags, and so on. As these larger pieces of plastic go through a combination of biological degradation, weathering, physical fragmentation, UV radiation, and mechanical abrasion, they create smaller and smaller particles which persist in marine habitats for long periods of time. Alternatively, runoff, such as household sewage, contains compounds such as microbeads from cleansing and cosmetic products, and microfibers from our clothes that filter into the ocean. 35% of the microplastics in our oceans are from synthetic fibers like clothes. These fibers come off during washing, drying, and general wear and tear, and are then released into the air or sewage systems. Since microplastics are so saturated in our oceans, how is this affecting marine wildlife, ecosystems, and even us, humans? Marine life consistently ingests microplastics. There are over 700 marine species that eat microplastics, including fish in remote areas of South Asia and Oceania, far from where most ocean pollution is currently occurring. Because they are so small, organisms can easily ingest the particles by accident. Studies have shown that as plastic breaks down, they collect algae and develop a smell similar to marine animal food sources, so some species mistakenly ingest the particles as food. Larger organisms ingest these particles either directly, as mentioned, or indirectly, by eating the smaller organisms in lower trophic levels who already have the microplastics in their system. As more plastics and microplastics continue finding their way into the oceans, the chance of organisms encountering the particles will continue to increase. One of the biggest harms from microplastics is that they act as a transport vehicle for pollutants and harmful chemicals in marine ecosystems. Microplastics can absorb metals, toxic substances, and organic pollutants. So once animals ingest these microplastics, these contaminants are released into their systems. These chemicals and pollutants disrupt physiological processes like blocking their digestive systems, which then limits how much food they can ingest, leading to potential starvation and death. Studies have shown that there is microplastic in various fish species that humans consume. A study concluded that humans ingest up to 90 particles of microplastics with a serving of mussels. Although there is no data currently demonstrating how toxic microplastics are to humans, they can carry pathogens and other harmful substances. So with all of this gloom and doom, how can you help save the ocean from microplastics? Some of the best and easiest ways to make an impact as an individual include relatively easy steps. Identify and eliminate the major sources of plastics and plastic waste in your life, such as plastic packaging in food, coffee cups, cutlery, and grocery bags. Opt for the reusable version of all of these products, and make sure that any plastic or materials that you are using are recycled properly and don't go to landfills. Try buying clothes made from eco-friendly and non-synthetic material, and stop using the dryer, which can accelerate the wear and tear of your clothes and release microfibers. Help in beach cleanup, support local legislation for bans on plastic consumption and ocean dumping, and spread awareness. Many people don't know how much plastic is in our oceans because these particles are so small, and it can be hard to make the connection between takeaway boxes and coffee cups and the end result of microplastics. So all in all, try your best to reduce your plastic consumption and be more aware of how your daily lives impact even the deepest of marine ecosystems.